Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Maria. If you are new here, I'm a part-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay, Kidizen, and Depop. And yes, if you've been following my channel, I officially have two, count them, 1, 2 Depop sales that I'm very excited about because I just started listing there. But I am a fairly new reseller. I've only been reselling about a year. So I am here on my channel to document the goods, the bads, the things that I am learning, the mistakes that I am making, and bringing you guys along with me because this is how I learned. I learned from other YouTubers and I want to be able to share that with you guys as well. Speaking of other YouTubers, there is a YouTuber named Becky Park on Poshmark and she hosted a February listing challenge. First of all, she is an amazing just creator, person, human being. So if you are not following her, head over to her channel and to her Instagram. She is also a part-time reseller and is just a lot of fun and has a lot of great information. I saw she was doing a February listing challenge to get us all motivated and I wanted to be a part of that. So I signed up, I put in my information and just waited to see what was gonna happen. Man, am I excited that I did. I have got some numbers, I have got the deets, and guys, it is good. I had a good February. I'm gonna compare numbers from January. I'm gonna compare numbers from last year. I'm gonna give you some sales. I'm gonna give you just a little bit of everything. We'll go through all the numbers as well as some individual sales that I'm really excited about that I wanna share with you, as well as some mediocre ones to remind you, we are all normal. We are all in this together. Not every sale is a banger, but those little ones are gonna add up. Don't forget those. All right, so before we dive into all of these numbers, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and cue the intro. I know I look absolutely ridiculous in this video. These sold, I think, overnight. All right, so the premise of this listing challenge was first a thriftless February. Full disclosure, I did not do thriftless February. I like to thrift. I'm sorry, Becky, if by chance you were watching this, please forgive me. However, I did kind of do a thriftless January with one little, actually fairly large exception of a trip. I filmed that for you guys. I did a thrift with me. If you want to watch it, I will link it up above here. But other than that trip, I didn't thrift in January because I came into 2023 with a lot of inventory that I wanted to get through. So I did pretty well in January catching up. And honestly, I like having a pile of clothes, kind of death pile, money pile, whatever you want to call it, that's available to list because I am a part-time reseller. Guys, I am first a mom and a wife, and then I am a full-time job person. So those are my priorities. That's most important. This is always going to take a backseat to that, and I can't always get out and thrift and source. So I like having bags kind of everywhere because I also have the space to store them, so they're not really in my way, so that helps me. So I did not do a thriftless February. I also didn't go crazy in February, but I did do some shopping here and there. But the main part of her challenge was to thrift less and list more, as well as get through some of those things you've been avoiding. And that was really what I focused on. We're going to talk about some hard goods. Guys, I have been sourcing hard goods and not listing them, which is a problem. If you watch the one other what sold video that I posted, I listed some and I had some really good success. So watch that video. Again, I'll link it up above or down in the description box if you'd like to catch up. So in February, I buckled down on listing things I wasn't necessarily as excited to list, like those hard goods or personal items that have been around my house or my kids' clothes, things that just aren't as exciting, so I kind of avoid them, but they still sell. There's still money. There's still things that are in my house that need to leave my house. So that's really what I focused on. So on signing up, she has a website that looked through. We would get like encouraging emails, and she set up Instagram accountability groups, which was absolutely fantastic. So I was put in a group with 10 to 15 other people, which was really fun. You could check in as much or as little as you wanted to and just hear what other people are doing, what's going well, what are they struggling with, and give that encouragement. I know there were a bunch of different groups. I was so happy to be the group I was in because it seemed really kind of busy. Like there were a lot of people talking and engaging, and I heard some other groups were a little bit quieter, so I was thankful for the group that I was in. If any of you happen to be watching this video, please, please, please tell me down in the comments because I would love to know and shout you out. All right, I know I've been talking too much, so let's get into the overall numbers. So first we're going to go through the number of sales I had in February compared to January, percentages, the full 9, as well as compared to last January. Then I'm going to go through 20 specific what solds, and I broke them down. So I picked 5 from 4 different categories. The first one is 5 that sold low, but I'm extremely happy about. I just want you to see that just because something sells low, That's okay. 5 that were very quick sellers. I listed them and they sold almost instantaneously. The next 5, I'm just calling run-of-the-mill, normal sales. I just picked 5 random ones that I'm going to share with you guys. The next 5 are my highest, so the 5 that I'm very excited about and brought me the most profit. Then at the end of the video, we're going to go through my dollar amount, so the profit that I brought in, again, comparatively to January and last year, so you guys could see. It's really important for me and my business to compare my growth instead of comparing to other people. Just because you see package pictures on Instagram or thumbnail captions that are maybe total sales and not profit, don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to yourself. Are you growing? Did you list more and then you sold more? Things like that. Those are the numbers we're gonna go through. So remember, I list things in the evenings after my kids are in bed. I am not a full-time reseller, so I listed 138 items in February. That was up from January that I listed 114 items. All right, so in February, I had a total sale number of 101 items. 30 of those I listed in February and they sold in February. That compares to January where I only sold 60 items total in January and I had listed only 15 of those in January. So that gives my specific sell-through. So the items that I listed that then sold in the same month. That puts my sell-through percentage in February at 22%. I'm really happy with that. Typically things are gonna sell between 30 and 90 days and I have lots and lots of items that are listed longer than that. So a 22% sell-through of items that sell within that first 30 days, I'm really happy with that. I also ran that against January and my sell-through for that specific month was only 14%. So again, I'm happy with that increase. I don't expect that I'm gonna continue to see this many increases. You're gonna have ebbs and flows, you're gonna have ups and downs, but of course it's always great to see those increases when they do happen, and you wanna look for trends. So if I'm going solidly downhill, that's a problem. If I'm going uphill but having some ebbs and curves, that I'm gonna be okay with. And of course, like at the end of the year, I'll do all these numbers as well as midway through it and see how I'm doing. All right, this is where it gets really interesting. Now remember, I didn't start reselling until basically January of 2022. I listed like a few things. I think my first day of listing was like December 27th of 2021. So we're just gonna count it as January of 2022 was my first year of reselling. So I compared this February 2023 to last February of 2022. I had 27 sales last February. So that is an increase of 274% in sales by number of items sold. But that's good, right? A year in, I should have that big of a gap. I have way more items listed. I have approximately, as of this morning, 900 active listings. Back then, I had probably like 100. So I expect that. All right, the other important percentage before we start moving on is my total sale by items. I had an increase from January to February of 68%. I had 68% more sales in February. All right, a couple more metrics in case you guys are into this data. Let me know. If this data is boring you, please tell me. But if you like it, let me know that as well. So February by platform, of my 101 sales, I had 60 on Poshmark, 35 on eBay, 4 on Kidizen, and those 2 on Depop that I was very excited about. By sourcing, because I keep track of where I source my items, 30 of those were from a Goodwill retail store, 25 were from the Goodwill bins, 21 were from Second Avenue, which is a local chain of stores near me. I think it's related to Savers. And then 10 of those were from other various thrift stores. So guys, just so you know, whenever I'm talking profit, that is after fees, shipping, any promoted listings. I do promote listings at 3% on eBay. And what else am I forgetting? Any discounted shipping offers that I might have sent out on Poshmark. So it includes everything except taxes. Obviously, I do that in bulk at the end of the year. I don't do that by item. All right, let's start going through some individual sales. Again, I have 20 sales that I'm going to share with you for this What Sold in February video. And the first category, the first 5 I'm going to share are ones that didn't make me all that much money, but made me happy. I literally, it says 5 low but happy with a smiley face on my paper is how I wrote them down. So the first is this Express Black Shimmer Bodycon Rouged Side Tie Sleeveless Tank Blouse Top Small. Can you tell I like keywords in my titles? You'll be hearing that a lot. So this sold on Poshmark for $12. I received this from like a friend who kind of handed me down some stuff. I tried a bunch of stuff. I kept a lot of it. I donated some of it, and then I decided to sell a few of them. Sold for $12. I had zero cost of goods into this, and it sat for 203 days. And at the end of the day, I made a profit of $9.05. Express will sell. It doesn't always sell quickly, but it will, especially the more substantial pieces. And I really do enjoy selling it. All right, number 2 in this category are these Cat and Jack Girls Unicorn Sandals, Pink White Toddler 10. These make me happy because they were my daughter's sandals. She has obviously outgrown them. Sometimes I take things to Once Upon a Child. Every once in a while, I pick some that I think would resell online and I do them here instead, or if Once Upon a Child didn't end up taking them and they're in good condition. So these sold on Poshmark for $10. I have zero cost of goods into these. I think I was gifted them at some point along the way for her. They were listed for 327 days. And I made $7.05. $7.05 off of some Target little kid shoes that my daughter wore during the summer. That's a no-brainer. Of course it brought a smile to my face. It's also fun because she sometimes helps me with shipping. She thinks that's fun, and she saw these little shoes and she remembered them. And I just love the idea of some family, some little girl breathing new life into these, and they can have a long, beautiful life with another family. Okay, number 3 was this little Slugger baseball hat cap, navy, blue infant newborn baby boy 0 to 6 months. This, if you can guess it, yes, was my son's. However, I am usually really good about making sure they wear all that stuff. I'm not the kind of person that gets them lots of stuff that they never wear. And this unfortunately sat in his closet too long. And then I pulled it out because we were invited to like baseball themed birthday party, and I went to put it on him and his head was too big and I was so sad. So he missed getting to actually wear that. But I grabbed this at like a little kid's consignment sale somewhere along the way, probably for like $1. So for my purposes, it's a $0 cost of goods. It sold on eBay for full price for $12 plus shipping. Any of my sales I talk about for eBay today are going to include shipping paid by the buyer. I just have it at different prices depending on the weight. And this, I thought this was one of those things, let's throw it online, see if anyone wants to buy it, assuming I'm going to take like a $5 offer somewhere along the way. No, full price, and it sold in 3 days. So I don't know, baseball season's coming up. It is really cute, and I ended up making a profit of $10.02. So again, it's off to a new happy home. All right, the next one was one that was in my other What Sold video. If you saw that, this is a repeat for you guys. However, it sold low, but I was really happy to see it, so I included it in this category. This is the Wii U Super Mario Maker Nintendo, complete with manual and case tested. This I got from a friend, didn't have any use for it. So this sold, I had it listed for $12 and it sold with an offer that I accepted for $8. I had $0 into it. This one did sit a little bit longer, but it sold within 28 days and I made $8.20 for them. This was one of those hard good things that I just needed to get through. I needed to list. I had 3, I think, video games, and they all sold super quick, and they had been sitting in my house. This was actually kind of the precursor to my February listing challenge. I listed this in January, but the other 2 sold in January so quickly, I was like, I need to start listing my hard goods. They are selling, and I need to get through them. So the last one I picked for this category were these Zara Premium Collection Olive Green Moto Stretch Skinny Jeans in a child youth size 8. I got these at the bins. I think I did a bins haul video on these. I like picking up Zara. I pick up kids Zara, I pick up men's, I pick up women's, and it sells. It doesn't always sell super quick or for tons of money, but it does sell, and that's why I wanted to pick this one for this category. I see a lot of people skipping Zara. Don't pay up a ton for it. Like I wouldn't have probably bought these at a normal thrift store unless they were like half off or something like that, especially being kids. But I listed these for $19.99 on eBay. I saw they had a watcher, so I sent kind of the standard offer that I give, which is 10% off, which was $17.99 for these. And they accepted that. So they sold for $17.99. I got them at the bins. I had $1.43 was my average cost of goods for that bins trip. And guys, these sold in 2 days. So these were one of those February listing challenge items that I listed. I had been sitting on that bins trip for quite a while, and I'm so glad I got it listed because you're gonna hear a lot about this bins trip later on. And I made $13.31 on these kids' Zara pants. All right, so you're gonna hear in all of the categories, some of them that sold super quickly, but I did pick 5 quick sales that I wanted to share with you guys. The first one was this Cabela's Camo Brown Fleece Hunting Camping Outdoor Vest in a men's large. I had this listed for $39.99 plus shipping. I got an offer really quickly for $25. I knew that I sourced these at the bins. I knew that hunting season is at its kind of end. Yes, they could probably use this year round, but I knew I missed kind of that hunting window. So I accepted the offer. It sold in 3 days. My average cost of goods was $1.43. That's the same bin strip. And I made $20.52 on this. I really enjoy selling Cabela stuff. Again, I'm not going to pay up for it, but all my Cabela stuff always has a really good sell-through rate for me. Now this one, quick tangent, was frustrating. I shipped it next day, didn't think anything of it, and then like in quite a few days or maybe a week, I got a message saying, hey, have you shipped this item? I see that it was marked as shipped, but it says USPS is still awaiting the item. So I was like, oh no. So I looked at it. Yep, he was of course right. He's reading it off the same screen I was. But I know that I packaged this and shipped this the next day. I went and looked at the other items I packaged and shipped that same day. They had all started tracking. Most of them had been delivered by then. So I was like, great. So I messaged him back telling him, no, I shipped it. I'm so sorry. I'll keep an eye on it. Let's wait a couple more days. And we kept having nothing. So I did later that night put in a missing mail request for this item, hoping it's going to do something. I also sometimes ship from my post office by my house. I sometimes ship by my post office by my work. I sometimes use post office forever. So I couldn't really remember which one I shipped it from, but I looked at my schedule. I thought I had known which one I shipped it from, and I put that in the mail request in case that specific post office could look through their items. Anyway, later that day, maybe the next day, it finally said accepted, and it said last known item location Alabama, and this delivery address was for Georgia. So I was hoping that meant something, but then again, it was like a week with nothing. But that gave me a little bit of hope. The buyer was so kind. He was so patient. He understood. We had already decided what we were going to do. For me to refund him, I had already told him, hey, if this doesn't come, of course, I'm going to refund you. And he had already agreed that if it arrives after that, we would do a PayPal transaction. We had it all planned out. And then the item just showed up. He messaged me and said, hey, the item came today. It never said anything else with tracking, and it just showed up. It's great. I love it. Thank you. So I was very thrilled to hear that. I messaged him back, hey, I'm so sorry it took so long. He said, no, I wasn't in any rush. I tend to buy stuff like this after hunting season when people are kind of purging. And so it kind of worked for him. So long tangent to say, we all have USPS issues. Sometimes you just have to wait. And eventually they usually show up, at least in my experience, thankfully. Number 2 of my 5 quick sales was this J. Crew Schoolboy Velvet Brown Classic Blazer Jacket in a women's 12. If anybody watches Jack Valentine, Jack and Ryan over on that channel are always talking about how blazers sell well, especially J. Crew blazers. And I picked this up at the bins. It sold for $45. I had it listed for $55 on eBay. I accepted a $45 offer. This was again from that same bin strip where my average cost of goods was $1.43. This sold overnight. It sold in 1 day, and I made $37.21. When you think about that, I remember that my total purchase at that bin strip day was $99 and some change. So $37, that's 37% of that initial investment I earned back in one sale. I mean, I was very, very happy about that. So speaking of blazers, let's move on to the next one. So from that exact same bin strip, I found this White House Black Market Black Ponte Knit double-breasted blazer jacket in a size 10. I hadn't sold anything by White House Black Market before, and I had heard kind of various things. I like experimenting with different brands, especially at the bins where my cost of goods is so low that my risk is really low. I found this blazer. I had heard blazers do well. I found like 4 or 5 blazers that day, so I was just in a blazer mood and decided to grab it. I listed this, I think for like $45, and they received my offer to a liker of $40 if I'm remembering correctly, but it did sell for $40. My average cost of goods was $1.43, and this sold in 3 days. So slow seller compared to the J. Crew blazer, but super quick seller in regards to anything else. And I made $28.85. Blazers. Pick up blazers. All right, I'm now realizing this entire category was from that same bin strip. I guess I found some quick sellers there. So next are these standard James Purse compact cotton shorts, gray stretch, men's size 3. James Purse has unique sizing, so those were a size large, which was a 33. I was really excited. I found 2 of these that day. Full disclosure, the other still has not sold. I'm waiting on it, but I did notice when I was doing my comparative research that this one was a newer style, so that probably had something to do with it. I received an offer for $44.99. I had them listed for $55. I did accept that, especially because my average cost of goods was $1.43. And again, they sold in one day, making me $35.65. I did a recent trip to a thrift store with a friend. I hadn't seen her in a while. It was fun to catch up. And the first thing I saw was a James Purse t-shirt. And I was like, this is just a t-shirt, but it's going to be a good day because this was the first thing I found. And I haven't listed it yet, but I'm expecting maybe $20 to $30. But for a t-shirt that I got for like, I think it was like $2, it's a no-brainer. All right, and the last one for my 5 extremely quick sales for this video is this T Collection Fox Graphic Full Zip Hooded Jacket Coat, red, kids size 4. This was so cute. It was one of those ones I'm considering, like, should I keep this for my kid that's about to turn 1? Do I really want to hold on to it for 3 years? No, Maria, you're going to find tons of other adorable things. Give it to the world. Someone will want it, and their kid will look cute in it instead. So that's what I did. I had heard people talk about T Collection. I know I've heard Ginger Marvin, Kathy talking about T Collection for her 2 little boys, but I hadn't found it before. So I grabbed this at the bins. It sold. I had it listed for $24.99. I received an offer of $20 on eBay, and this was from the same bin strip. Say it with me, $1.43 cost of goods. Sold in a day. It sold the next day. I was not expecting this for that one. I thought the J. Crew blazer would sell quickly. I thought the James Purse would sell quickly. This one kind of was mind-blowing for me. So I made $15.48. I listed this in the Zara green pants the same like listing night, and they both sold super quick, and I was excited really to have that. All right, the next ones I'm calling normal, kind of bread and butter, but I'll tell you why I decided to pick them. So the next one is this Nike CBF Brazil soccer football jersey, blue dry fit short sleeve tee in a men's medium. I found this at a local thrift store, and usually Nike is so marked up for me, but this one just, maybe they saw the other stuff and they didn't notice it was Nike. So I got it for 50% off. It was the color of the week, and I think it only ended up being $2 or so. I decided to grab it. I've sold some soccer stuff before and it has done well. When I started doing comps on this specific team seemed to be doing really, really well when I was looking at my research. However, there were some really high and some really low. So it's one of those times I don't really know, so I just take a shot and find out. I listed this for $45 and it sold full price with shipping. Very, very happy about that. My average cost of goods that day, which as you know is how I do my numbers, so I paid a little bit less, but my average cost of goods was $5.87. This sold in 38 days, which again is still pretty quick, and I made $31.21 on that. All right, the next one, again, normal bread and butter, are these American Eagle Y2K low-rise cuffed distressed hem mini shorts, blue denim size 4. The reason I chose these for you guys was A, just to be like, hey, shorts, spring, it's coming, they're selling. If you have them sitting in your death pile, get them listed. And just to show you, I like selling American Eagle. I love getting at the bins. I was looking, I was like, I don't have, no, I do. They're purple though. I didn't have any American Eagle jean shorts listed. I didn't have any blue denim because they had all sold. So I need to find more. Again, I'm only going to pay bins prices because they don't sell for a lot, but they will sell between like $15 to $25 very consistently for me. These were low-rise style. That's another reason why I wanted to show you. Low-rise is back with a vengeance. I don't mind it. I know all of us quote millennials are like, no, I don't want them back. I don't mind it. I like high rise. I like low rise. Obviously, I'm going to be covered. I am a mom of 2. I'm not trying to be that mom, you know, in the pickup line, but I do. I don't know. I like me some low rise, mid rise, high rise. You can style anything and make it work, in my opinion. So these I listed for $24.99. I often list things for $28 on Poshmark, and then I will list them for $24.99 over on eBay. People usually don't have as many lowball offers on eBay, although I do definitely get them. However, somebody offered me $15.99 on these. I was like, you know what? I got them at the bins. This is a quick flip. Take them. I'm happy with that. These were from the same bin strip, $1.43. They sold in 9 days, and I made $12.51. Happy. American Eagle, that's right in the ballpark for me. Okay, the next one I picked because this is the first time selling this brand. I wanted to just let you guys know. This is the Latched Mama Viscose Sleeveless Pink Gray Striped Stretch Nursing Midi Dress in a size medium. I had heard of this brand and familiar with the concept, obviously. It's a nursing breastfeeding dress that has side access if you're nursing. But I hadn't found it, and I kind of looked it up in a store. I paid $5 or $6. I paid a little bit for this one. But I wanted to see, I wanted to try. Now, if this had been an extra small or small, I certainly would have kept it. I'm actually still breastfeeding my little one. So I would have kept it and tried it, but this one was too big for me. And it had a lot of interest. It had a lot of watchers on eBay. It had a lot of likers on Poshmark. It had some interest over on Kidizen. I know it was put in people's cart a couple times for that. So it did. It had a lot of interest. Sometimes on Sundays, I will send out a 30% off offer on Poshmark that includes discounted shipping. It's just still kind of a way to jumpstart my week and get some stuff flowing and moving through my closet. So I think I had this listed in the 30s, and they accepted my 30% off offer. So this sold for $22. I did get it at 2nd Avenue. My cost of goods that trip was $4.96. This was listed for 55 days, but again, the reason I decided to share it was because it was so active that I'm probably going to keep an eye out for this brand in the future, and I made $10.92 because it sold in that sale. I do think if it hadn't been part of that sale, it would have sold eventually, but I'm happy. I want to move it out. It's spring, it is sleeveless. Let's let somebody and their little one hopefully have a nice long life with that. All right, the next one I picked because I told you guys as part of this listing challenge, one of my goals, I sent Becky in my goals, was to list some of my hard goods, and I did that. So one of them was this new OXO Good Grips 5-pound food scale with a pull-out display in black. I bought this probably over a year ago, like at the beginning of my reselling, when I was watching videos and I always saw them like scanning things and sending them to Amazon or putting them on eBay or this and that. So I saw something new in box. I was like, sure, let's try it. I scanned it. I paid $6 for this. Probably should not have, would not do that today. But I was like, let's list it. So I put it on the interweb for $24.99. And guess what? It did sell. I received an offer for $20. Obviously, shipping was paid by the buyer. I got this at a Salvation Army for $6, like I said. And it sold in 3 days. It had been sitting in my house for 12 months. And then it sold in 3 days. Just list your stuff. Just do. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's just list it. Take the extra couple minutes to research it and list it, even if it's out of your comfort zone, and then don't buy it next time if it's out of your comfort zone and you're not going to list it. All right, the last one in the category of kind of normal things for me was this logo Lori Goldstein white denim jean jacket with frayed edges and a women's size 20W. I shared this one in case you weren't sure whether to pick up this brand. I've only had a few things by this brand, but they've all done really well. So this sold for $38 on Poshmark. That was a 10% off offer with discounted shipping that I sent to a liker. I got this at a local thrift store near me. My average cost of goods that day was $3.54. It did sit for 125 days, but my profit on the item was $26.86. I also noted this one just to be like, spring is coming. I expected this one to sell in spring, being a white denim jacket, and it did. It sat a little bit longer. I don't see tons of people wearing white denim in the winter, not that you can't. I still wear white denim jeans in the winter, but I did expect it to sell in spring, and I was right. So the next category is my 5 highest profiting sales for the month. Very, very, very excited about all 5 of these. So we are going to go lowest to highest on total profit because, I mean, let's have a little build up. This is the Lily Pulitzer Holland maxi dress, tangerine print, back tie, women's size 4. I love this one. You'll see from the pictures that this was one that I actually got to wear on a recent tropical vacation I went on with my husband to St. Lucia. I have a whole video about how I thrifted that entire wardrobe, and then now I am reselling the whole wardrobe. If you want to see that, click up above or down below, of course. But this sold for $100. I had this listed for $150. It was doing really well. It was getting lots of attention. I received an offer for $100. I thought about countering. I thought about waiting, but guys, it's hard for me to turn that down. So I was like, you know what? Let's just give it a new home. So I did find that at a Goodwill retail store. I do remember that item being $10. However, average cost of goods was $5.46, so that's the number I'm using. This sold in only 17 days, and I made $74.54. All right, this is another one that, like, I'm happy and it's exciting to share, but I'm also, like, low-key embarrassed to share with you guys. But here we are. I'm here for you. You can make fun of me. This is the Victoria's Secret Beauty Rush Juiced Berry Body Mist and Lotion. So it's a 2-pack. I found this at 2nd Ave in one of those like the plastic grab bags. I had seen that like Bath and Body Works and Victoria's Secret, that the like discontinued scents can be kind of rare. So I found this and decided to look it up and saw that it could do quite well, and so I grabbed it. Again, like my first trip back in like 2021 possibly, or beginning of 2022. On my like reseller spreadsheet, this was number 1. Like it was the first thing I ever typed in my spreadsheet, and I never did anything with it. I never listed it because it was lotion, it was a mist. I wasn't sure how to like ship it and do all these things. One of them was missing a cap, one of them was partially used. I didn't know. February listing challenge. Thank you, Becky. I finally got my act together. I figured out what to do. I listed it appropriately. I did not put that it was new. I wrote in the detailed section that one of them was new. I could tell it was filled all the way full. It had a cap. It was fine. The other one, the lotion was weird because I wasn't sure how full it should be. So I didn't feel comfortable selling it as new. And I said that it was about 90% full. I tried to kind of judge it. And I obviously said this is missing the cap. Comps were really good on any of this scent from that Victoria's Secret line, but I couldn't find much of, I think it was the lotion. There was like one that was like half full that sold for like $60 on eBay. So I kind of shot a little bit high, listed it for $125 on Poshmark and eBay, fully expecting it to sell on eBay because I just expected that's where things like that sell. Did really well, got a lot of attention on eBay. I had sent out some offers. And then one day, I don't have my phone on me when I'm at work. I'm focusing on work. So when I was done with work one day, I saw this sold full price for $125 on Poshmark. I also saw that I had received an offer that same day for $50 on this item, but I hadn't seen it, I hadn't accepted or declined it or anything, and then someone bought it full price. Now I was wondering, Poshmark has a feature that if somebody puts an offer in on an item, that anyone else that has liked that item will get a notification of, hey, somebody put an offer in, if you want it, you better go buy it. So that might have happened, that was my theory. However, I did notice that the person that bought it had never liked it. So they wouldn't have received that notification. I think it might have even been a guest buyer by how the username looked. So that was just a coincidence. And I got positive feedback, no issues with the shipping and the packaging, good to go. So my cost of goods for those items was $6. They sold in 5 days and I made $94 after them sitting in the corner of my house in a box for a year. Okay, these ones were in the weekly what sold video that I did, so I won't talk about them for too long, but these are so beautiful and I was so excited to find them. These are the Freebird Mabel Gray Black Leather Oxford Casual Dress Shoes in women's size 12. If you want all the details about how I found those, take a look at that other video. However, these sold on Poshmark for $125. I got these at 2nd Avenue. My average cost of goods that day was $5.57. These were only listed for 6 days and I made $94.43 on those. First one we talked about, Lily dress, was $74. Next, Victoria's Secret one was $94. This one was also $94. We're on a very good trajectory here. Okay, this next one I also talked in the video, and I have even a longer story for this one, but yes. This is hard goods, and guess, did I list this quickly or did I not? You're very perceptive. I did not list this quickly. It also sat in my house for forever, and then I did my research and I listed it, and guess what? It sold. This is the Fireball item, Curse of Valkar collection with 3 expansion packs complete. I don't know what to tell myself. But this I got at a local Goodwill store. For all 4 of the boxes, I paid a total of $14. It sold for $120. Again, the buyer paying shipping in a day. overnight, and I made $99.53. I was so wishing, I remember that day doing the math, and I was like, $99.53. I need 47 cents to be at $100 profit, but that's okay. I should not be allowed to complain about that. All right, and my last bestest sale of the month. Again, do you think I listed quickly? Nope, they sat in my house. Not as long. These are the Vans Isotope snowboards, step-in snow boots, switch compatible, blue-gray, men's size 11. I bought these at a Salvation Army for $10. I was like, they're Vans, they're snowboard boots. I think I might have looked them up, or I might have just grabbed them knowing they'd sell for something. They'd sell for over $10. Went home and looked at them. I don't snowboard. I think it would be fun. I would love to do it. But I saw that there's like the switch system, but it's not really the system most people are using. And I didn't want to list it wrong and describe it wrong, and then somebody get the wrong snow boots and have that be my fault. So again, they kind of sat for maybe 3 months, not quite as long as some of the others, but like they sat in winter, which is exactly the time when they should be listed, not sitting in my living room. So I finally did some more research, got them listed. I think I put them up for $150. I sent an offer to a watcher of $125 that was then accepted. They paid full shipping. So although I remember paying $10 for them, my average cost of goods that trip was $5.97. These were only listed for 2 days, and I made $100.71. So I was very happy about that. It did go to California, so they have lots of snow out there. Hoping somebody's a big snowboarder, and these are going to work well for them. As I was listing them, I did find that although the switch systems are, yes, kind of the old school, that there's a lot of loyalists that still like that, and maybe that's somebody that found this that really likes that type of system and wanted a pair. All right, so those are all my specific ones. If you are still with me, first of all, thank you. Thank you. I know I'm rambling, just sitting here in my guest room, which is also my shoe storage. But let's go through my total sales. So my total sales in February was $3,558.00. Compare that to January of 2023, in which my total sales was $1,794.68. That is an increase by 98.3% in total sales from January to February. That's a really, really good number. And I attribute so much of that to this listing challenge and just being motivated. Having Becky and the other people on the accountability group just give encouragement and still being kind. Like I didn't overwork myself. I was still attentive to my family. I was still working a full-time job. I just found ways to do better, to not avoid certain things. And it really seemed to work. So total profit in February. So again, let's recap. Profit is everything that I receive after my cost of goods, my platform fees, any promoted listings, any shipping discounts, everything except taxes. Total profit to me was $2,253.68 this February. That is my best month yet in reselling. Compare that to January, where my total profit was $1,127.72. That is also up 99.8%. I love those numbers. I really love those numbers. So another one that I think is really important to keep an eye on for me is the average sale price. So my average sale price in February was $35.23. And in January, it was only $29.91. So that's an increase of 17%. So not as big, but I expect that because that's a harder number to move because you're going to have some low dollar sales. But I had a lot of those higher dollar sales, which I really think helped amp that up. It is normally within that like 25 to 30, maybe a little bit over 30 sales range for me. And of course, the fun one to consider, especially if you're a new reseller, maybe you're getting straight into this and you need a little bit of encouragement. If I can do it, you can do it. Hard work, motivation, but also do you. Don't build your business the way I am just because I'm doing it. If it works for you, that's fantastic. That's why I'm here. But don't do it just because Maria said to do it. Make sure it works or amend it. I've taken a lot of information from other people and then modified it to work for my business. So from February of 2022 to February of 2023, I had an increase in total sales value of 296.7%. And in profit, I had an increase of 272.9%. And my average sale price increased by 38%. I'm so happy with that. I feel very blessed from all of the love that I have gotten on the internet from other people, all of the motivators that I have seen again on the internet from other people, all of the learning I have done. So thank you very much to all of those people. And if any of you happen to stumble upon this video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Becky, and all of the people in that accountability group. I had so much fun. I hope we can keep that going. I don't think there's anything saying we have to like stop just because it's March. I have had a really good, I'm filming this on March 6th. I have had a really good March so far. I'm on pace with where I was in February. That may keep going, that may slump off. Either way, I'll be happy because I'm doing the work. I'm having fun with it. I'm saving shoes and clothes and some hard goods from the landfill. I do have some hard goods to list. Those are my goals for March, is finishing up the things I started in February, keeping on that trend. But I also have some fun family things. My little one is about to have his first birthday. So there's things in life that take priority, and that is okay. Absolutely. All of those things are most important. It is okay to take a break. Becky just put out a video about being okay to take a break. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you will subscribe so that you stick around for all my future videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.